All right, it's Looong garden tour time. I am gonna try to do these weekly, but we'll see how that works. I feel like spring is so exciting, not necessarily because of all the blooms that are out. There's not a ton of blooms, but because of all the green and the potential that is growing in that green. Here's my clematis, and nothing is blooming yet, but it's full of buds, and this is the biggest that it's been. My sweet peas that I planted in the fall are looking super hardy and happy. There's actually a bud there. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. Right there. This bed is super full of violets, but I also have added 3 new peonies. That one looks like it needs some water. It's been super dry here. I got peonies from Costco this year. These are actually for a friend who was supposed to close on a house yesterday. I got them for her as a housewarming present. Here's a pot full of calendula and lots of violets that I didn't plant there. There's my little baptisia babies. They're starting to grow their true leaves, so that's exciting. And then I added a bunch of foxgloves, and that's fun because they are, again, they're not blooming yet, but they're sending up their stalks. So it's like so much potential there. Behind the fence, this is my penstemon. Again, they're sending up some stalks, so I can see the potential for beautiful flowers soon. My tulips, there's still a few that look nice, but most of them are pretty toasted. Oh, my lavender, I was a little bit worried because obviously some of it died, but most of it was kind of just that gray color, and this is the first winter that I've had lavender, so I wasn't sure if it had died, but it just is greening back up, so that's exciting. These daffodils, there are a few daffodils still blooming, and some more tulips over here. Here are some, I think that these are leeks that I started from seed last year. I never harvested them, but now they're going to flower, and I don't know if they'll be too late to harvest after they flower, but I'm curious. I'm guessing they'll just have white flowers, but I'm super curious to see. Here's more foxgloves. I'm excited because these greens are so different than the other ones that I've grown. So I'm excited to see what they look like. I might have to separate these guys because clearly they were a lot smaller when I put them there. Let's see, out here I have some bachelor buttons that seeded themselves. Some more foxgloves. My daisy asters those won't bloom until the fall, but they are certainly looking lush. I've got, what is this? I think this is agrostemma here. I don't see any buds yet, but I think in the next few weeks. Here's another baby peony. Here's oregano, and my moss phlox that is kind of passing its peak. Some of them still look really pretty, but I am curious to try to save seeds. I've never tried that before, but I've seen where it has seeded itself. Oh, there's a fox. That was exciting. I love seeing him. Surprise visitor. Oh, since I'm over here, I'm gonna tell you about this area. This is actually my neighbor's, the end of her driveway, and I shared some woodland poppy and violets with her, and I was really excited to encourage native plants because she was thinking of putting some periwinkle or vinca in there, and that's invasive. So this peony I'm really excited about. It's so happy. It's crazy because the ants are already like all over it, and I know that there's an old wives' tale that the ants help the blooms to open. I don't know if that's true, but they certainly really like the peonies. Here's my mums. They are spreading so much, I probably need to do some work thinning them out, but I've been concentrating on the violets lately. Here's an iris. I don't think I have any irises blooming in this the main garden yet. And here's bee balm. I don't think there's anything. Well, I will walk this way. Oh, here's the columbine. One of my columbines that was the farthest ahead got chomped by the deer. Oh, there's lily of the valley here too. This is actually invasive, but it hasn't spread very aggressively, and I love the smell, so I've decided to leave it. The bluebells are kind of, oh, look at this. Here's the one. You can see these stalks that got chomped by the deer. I don't think they target that, but you can see the hosta got munched. But here, this bloom is about to open, so that's really exciting. The bluebells are, oh, these blooms too. Look at that. I love them. But the bluebells are past their prime, but I'm hoping to try to save some of their seeds. So that'll be an interesting experiment this year. Now here is the glorious, I don't think I realized how much I was gonna love this area, but there's that, I think it's golden ragwort. It's like Pacara aria. And then there's some Solomon seal. There's some violets, the woodland poppy, and then all of these woodland poppies and the violets that are back behind here. They just make me so happy every time I get the chance to look at them. Here's my hydrangeas. I don't know if they'll bloom this year because we got that late frost, and you can see how a lot of leaves and stuff got damaged, but I'm holding out hope. Oh, this Solomon seal looks beautiful over here. It's farther ahead than the one over there. It's a little tricky walking through here, but these guys look so beautiful. Let me see. There are some plants back here that I can't remember what they are. I do have the strawberries. They've been kind of spreading themselves out, so I think I'm gonna wait till after they bloom to move them. Here's my asparagus. Oh my goodness, I love it so much. My rhubarb. I feel like I'm mostly fond of this guy since I started him from seed. Here's a snapdragon. This is one of the ones that I cut off. I cut the snapdragons, and then I cut off the bottom maybe foot of the stalk, and I just stuck it in the ground and watered it, and it rooted, and it made it through the winter. So if you want to try propagating some plants, that's a great thing to try. And here's my ranunculus. There's more blooming than I've seen before. I do probably need to cut them. I don't do a very good job of that. Here's some more snapdragons. Oh, my peas are growing over here. I need to do some weeding. I also need to give the peas something to climb on. Oh. I'm gonna take you over here. I'm gonna pause it though. Oops, just kidding. I saw the columbine here. I thought I was gonna have longer to walk without much to show. That is about to bloom. But what I wanted to show you is these new violets that I added to the garden here. These are more of a pure white kind. This came from Kurt, my gardening best friend. I can't remember the scientific name, but I'll try to find that. Maybe I'll put that in the comments. Here's this hellebore here. I'm excited to see this. This guy's gonna go to seed. So, oh, this one too. So maybe I'll get some babies. And then I have my woodland poppies, and these violets, actually, I don't think I've shared these, but they're not blooming anymore. But these are yellow violets. I have seen them in the woodlands around, but I haven't been able to grow them until this year. Somebody gave me some, so that was exciting. And then this woodland poppy, I think, is the happiest of all of my woodland poppies. And I just think it's so beautiful. Oh, and here, I have mint and hydrangeas over here. But this guy was a new addition last year. He's called the Little Redhead. And I wasn't sure if he was gonna come back, because it's never, when the first year you buy a plant from the nursery, it's hard to know when it's actually gonna start growing on its own. But there is a bunch of green coming up, so I'm really happy. I love that guy especially because my brother was a little redhead, my little brother, so that makes me think of him. All right, I'm gonna pause it. Coming back over here, here's my rhubarb. It's interesting because I cut back the flower. I just cut off the flower head, but now I'm wondering if I should cut the whole stalk off. So I'm not sure. I might have to do a short and see if anybody has any advice for me. You can see there's lots of greens here. My lupins are super bushy and happy. These tulips, these were the only tulips that came back from the 50 pack from last year. And I had heard that tulips were basically treated like an annual here, but that's 5 of them. This little guy got, the frost like did him in, which I was surprised about, but that's 5 out of 50 that I planted. So that's definitely gives me indication that I should treat them as an annual, because a 10% return rate for the second year is not great. Here's another peony. And then these beds with my Sweet William. And the bachelor buttons, there's lots of bachelor button buds. So those will be opening up soon, hopefully. And then I've got my parsley and cilantro over there in the far bed, and my sweet peas. And then I have these pots that I've been waiting for them. I think I've been waiting for them to get growing a little bit more, but they have calendula and all different kinds of violas, which clearly, like here, I planted a lot of seeds, probably more than I needed to. Oh, I do have here my ginger. I started that inside, and there's nothing to see except for the pots, so it'll be fun to see if anything comes of that. I also have a bunch of my black-eyed Susan babies here, my dahlias that are coming up. So exciting. They just look so healthy and happy. So we'll see more lupin. And then I'm gonna end with this pot of anemones and ranunculus that I need to separate those out. I might have called the ranunculus Lizzianthius earlier, but anyway, that's the garden. Happy Thursday.